super effective that he was visiting. The bottom lane pretty much did that 2v2 pushing on their own.
All right, so Adaptations Fusion don't have to keep up the Sejuani ban. They add the Kennen ban now, trying to get rid of Kiwi Kid. They're saying, all right, he's seeing smiles on his face, too. He's like, they're banning me out. All right, what's next for Kiwi Kid? So far, so good. Dignitas keeping 2 of their same bans, Maokai and LeBlanc. Now the question is, what do they add to this roster here?
Yeah. I feel like Kiwi Kid will just default back to something like Nautilus, honestly, an initiation support. I wonder if Fusion is willing to first pick the Sivir, because it just seems to be one of Dignitas' main playmaking champions. It's something CoreJJ is incredibly comfortable on, and it just enables the rest of the Team Dignitas team to show up in fights and actually capitalize on advantages that they have.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I really, really like Sivir. I think she's a worthy first pick, no matter what region you're in. I know a lot of regions love Urgot, they love Nunu, there's a couple of champions like that, but wow, Dig. The Gragas ban confused me a little bit, unless they're planning on pinching Sivir versus Sedge, and then you get one, the other team gets the other.
I think they're mainly just respectful of Nintendo's Gragas.
Sure.
Because Azingi played Gragas. It wasn't the decider of the game by any means, but they did stop Nintendo from having it without first pick control. They weren't willing to trade a Gragas for a Sivir pick, which I would have been willing to do so, but at least this way they control Sejuani.
Yeah, like I said, I think they have this perceived tier list of Sejuani and Gragas are top 2. We know you'll take Sivir. We prioritize Sedge above Gragas. We saw that from the first ban, so we get to push you down a little tier list on the jungler. And so we'll see what Nintendo wants to play in this one. Alistair comes through for Kiwi Kid, a bit of an eye against Trance, but also another engaged support for Kiwi Kid.
The Kiwi Cow right now.
Yep.
Flash ults work on Alistair too, just like
Yes,
Annie.
they do. They're just shorter ranged.
Well, if you flash headbutt pulverize,
true.
it still gets a decent range. It's not as crisp as an Annie one would
True.
be, though.
You spell shield that. You see him flash and headbutt towards you. You're like,
I do
you
like
still get pulverized.
I do like the champion pool that we're seeing from Xingyi, at least. He is forcing himself onto the meta junglers.
True.
Instead of playing his standard Xingyi.
I still want to see him play Carthus or Fiddle in this series, though.
I don't think we're going to see it.
That's too bad, because when Unicorns of Love qualified for the LCS, they were down 0-2. The Poppy came out, and they started the comeback, and they actually got themselves into the LCS. I want to see back against the wall Dignitas, and then the Fiddlesticks comes out here. Either way, Nintendo, Nidalee didn't work. Let's try Rek'Sai this time around. It'll likely be Cinderhulk Rek'Sai, but we've seen Warrior still some. Cyan once again for Chunky Fresh. No difference here. CoreJJ this time is going to play Kalista for himself. So second time in a row gets a really strong AD carry matchup. Before it was Sivir into Corki, now it's Kalista into Sivir. Both these are wonderful to play as.
Playing to win the lane.
Yes, absolutely.
Is huge here. Kalista's not a bad pick by any means. It's one of the best AD carries in the game right now.
Yep.
Heavy pick priority depending on which team you are. And again, Team Dignitas, they are making sure they can fight. They are going to be able to fight, and they want to do it often.
Every single person on that team has some kind of heavy engage tool. Kalista can turn Alistair into Malphite by pressing R herself, and then he knocks them up again. Woo! And then Jarvan does things, and then Sejuani does things, and we might see another Ziggs just for the more damage over the top of it. I mean, Dignitas have engage covered, so they just need the DPS afterwards. Team Fusion are lock in their lineup here. They know they're facing Kalista Alistair. So Sivir plus what? Can you bridge the 2v2, or are you just going to simply go for the lane swap and hope it works out? Mid lane Lulu comes in for Huhi here.
So this is, if you replace the Rek'Sai with the Nunu, X Special will be very familiar with this comp because it's something Team Liquid ran in one of their games against Cloud9, which they lost. It's kind of a, well, you'd also have to switch the Sivir with the Kog'Maw. So it's really not even that close, but it's 3/5.
We've seen this comp with Lucian, though. I think they did it with...
We've seen this comp with a different AD carry.
Yeah.
But this is heavily reliant on being ahead in the game because they can fly through people. They will have tank lines and shields, but their damage output will be very low unless Nian gets a substantial amount of farm in this game. Whereas, again, Team Dignitas with that last pick, Ziggs, if Fusion is running as a group, can be punished.
Painful once again. And the problem is, even with the Janna being locked in here for Team Fusion, good luck disengaging all of these guys. Half of them are practically unstoppable on the way through. You can't Janna ult a Sejuani ulti. You can't Janna ult the Jarvan ulti either. So definitely some risk here involved for the Fusion lineup. As you said, getting ahead early going to be very important. But the 2-on-2 can't get ahead early because of the matchup. So you've got to really navigate this game real well on Fusion's side. Dignitas maybe looking happy on this one. Coach is coming in for the handshake, and we will see who comes out ahead in Game 2 here. Dignitas with the lead in this series, but a best of 5. We've seen reverse sweeps, we've seen 3-0s, we've seen everything under the sun, really, in these types of matchups. Fusion looking to make their way in.
Not over until the final game is won.
Not over until the final game. Now, guys, make sure to keep those votes coming our way. Tweet hashtag FSN winner, hashtag DIG win to @LOL Esports. We will update the poll in just a few minutes. Keep letting us know who you think's going to win this one. It's going to be Game 2 in the best of 5 for a spot in the North American 2015 LCS Summer Split. Dignitas with the lead. Fusion, though, with a new lineup, new set of champions, hoping to start the comeback.
Yep, Team Dignitas going with some of the same. Jarvan and Ziggs from the last matchup. Fusion, only one of the same, with Chunky Fresh on Sion again. And we kind of hit this already, but the lane swap is going to be massive in this game. In order for the Fusion team composition to work, they need to be able to run at them, and Sivir needs to be able to do a lot of damage. Based on what happened in the 2v2 lane last game and the champion matchup itself, it is a lane that Dignitas would have a big advantage in a 2v2. And we've also seen the game is a lot about lane swaps now. How do you play the 1v2? In the TSM vs Cloud9 North American LCS final, a lot of it was even about jungler denial from the 1v2s. There's so much depth and precision involved in this lane swapping game, and it's something that Fusion has actually been playing the majority of the year. The fact that they got trapped in that 2v2 in Game 1 was not normal for them.
Yeah.
And they're going to be looking to do a lane swap here.
See if they can find it right now. The blind pick lanes. Now, there were some deep wards put out by Dignitas. They will be able to see where these guys are going. Rek'Sai spots the ward. Okay, whatever. He walks by. Actually uses Sweeper. So an intent dude.
He swapped it.
Yeah.
Killed it too.
Is going to allow his dual lane to walk into the lane blind, but Dignitas just sniff it out. Look where Alistar is. Look where Kalista is. Bottom lane. So 2-on-2.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
still sniffed out.
You're not being super stealthy. It's like a jungler came by.
The ward.
He cleared the ward. I wonder why I do that. I wonder if they want to go down bottom lane.
Yeah. Chunky Fresh, though, with a really clever move here, is actually going to be stealing away the opponent's red buff. So bad 2-on-2 or not. A couple of fun things here. Kiwi Kid and Core JJ going to grab the Gromp.
Yeah, it's a good early game for Chunky Fresh. Gamsu, though, is taking a camp this time. So if anyone this sets back, it's going to be a Zingy. And
all the camps are gone.
Yeah.
There's 2 camps up on that side of the map. Literally 2 right now.
He can take the small camps.
That'll get him 3 and he can base.
That'll get him level 3. It'll let him base for his jungle item. It's actually not that bad. I've done a lot of jungling myself where I only take the small camps. If you're afraid of counter jungling, you can level up just fine.
Yeah.
Doing that. And you take the buffs on the second go round. A Zingy won't be able to do that. So it'll hurt him a little bit. But basically, the top lane has been matched. The bottom lane isn't even being laned by Fusion right now. This is awful. They got gromped by Core JJ and Kiwi Kid, and instead of letting Kalista hit the level 2 power spike in lane, they said, we're done for. Let's go take Krugs.
Yep.
You normally take Krugs before the lane. Not during it. They lost a lot of experience.
Well, there's still a partial wave here. The cannon wave's there. I want to see what kind of CS they actually get themselves into. So this would be 21 total CS potentially if you got literally every minion here. They're at 5, and there's like, I want to say like 10. Yeah, they're missing like 6 CS total, even to get everything right here.
Which they did not.
Yep.
We know this is going to be a struggling lane for Fusion, and again, they've missed the lane swap, which is pretty disastrous for them overall. Nintendo will have to apply a lot of early game pressure here. But once again, Shifter plays so passively in lane on Ziggs. Even though he had a 10 CS advantage on him last game, Urgot obviously is going to do something similar to that in lane. This time on Lulu, not as aggressive of a laner, but it's not something that Nintendo can gank for super reliably either.
This looks like nothing done for him. We'll get the Scuttler. Nice stuff there. So some gold income and a bit more vision safety. Rek'Sai, a great fast early jungler, so should be decent for him. Actually, as a question, do you know if Cinderhulk Rek'Sai still goes heavy offense as like their mastery page?
good question.
Because Nintendo is running the percent pen, so he's got 21 offense here in his mastery page.
Yeah, I feel like they do still.
Probably so. I know like a lot of Sejuani's do that too for the jungle clear. They'll go deep offense, which is actually not the case for Zingy. No pen on him.
Offense can often be the best defense.
Yeah.
In the jungle.
Faster you go to the jungle, less damage you take.
Depends on the champion, though, for
Definitely
sure.
True.
Sejuani, you see a variety of 21-9, 9-21. Or my personal favorite that no one believes in.
0-21-9.
0-21-9. But this is that duo lane. CoreJJ is going to get aggressive. It was in a big minion wave, though. Good timing by Fusion.
Very nice. The spell shield was delayed by CoreJJ. He didn't pop Rend until that fell off of Nien, so a wasted E there. But yeah, a very strong trade on both sides. However, Dignitas do have sustain in their lane. They've got plenty of healing from Alistar, so I imagine that's still going to look pretty good for the Dig 2-on-2 in the next minute or so. Right now, gold is equal. It is going to be Cinder Hulk Nintendo. He's got the Bomby Cinder right now. Zingy trying to power farm as best he can, but he's down in CS just like last time.
Rek'Sai will be able to outpace Sejuani.
Yeah.
Of course, Zingy having his red stolen away didn't help his rush either. But again, last game Nintendo outfarmed Zingy. It didn't matter. This game, Nintendo, instead of just farming the whole time, wants to impact the lanes to a greater extent than Zingy does.
True. Well, Rek'Sai does have a nice team fight footprint, a bit more so than Nidalee, you could argue. Nien slightly late on that spell shield there. Takes Rend again and again and again. A lot of poke coming through. Really great play by CoreJJ just to sneak damage in this 2-on-2. Up 10 minions and a lot of health bars. Top lane pressure, though. Sejuani's around. Chunky Fresh. Thing is, Fusion knows that Dig have seen the jungler. Here comes the gank on in. Chunky Fresh. Ult pops in, stopped once again. His flash is already down. That's almost certainly first blood. Down goes Chunky Fresh.
Good gank timing there by Zingy. He finds a larger impact play than Nintendo does. When Gamsu hits level 6 against Sion, it's actually one of the few people that Sion can't just ult away from because you trap him in that Cataclysm. He can't ult away. It's the second game in a row Chunky Fresh is Sion ulted face first into a Jarvan Cataclysm, and it's the second time Gamsu's been able to kill him doing just that.
Well, it looks like the matchup that Dignitas wanted to have works out. We were curious to see how top lane Jarvan would go, but so far, really so good. And Zingy as well, able to get that early pressure. Outfarmed by the Nintendo, but actually getting ganks coming through, a really big deal. So, a meaningful lead for Dignitas.
And it hasn't even come from the duo lane yet. However, with a BF sword to a pickaxe difference in the bottom lane.
Wow, Trance bought all those green wards. That's a very interesting ward. He bought a lane ward for lane ganks behind the turret. They are really trying to get Nintendo to make some ganks happen in this 2v2 down here. And they want to make sure Zingy's not around when it happens. Good smite. Nintendo gets out. A lot of vision over the spot lane. Huhi pushed out.
Zigzag used just for the shove. Shifter knows his job this game. Farm up, be a team fight master. Rely on Gamsu and CoreJJ to bring the pain.
All right,
That's
nice
going to be a lot of damage
really
there.
nice early Rend again. Jeez, Dignitas. Oh, they're going to get it with the Ignite. Nien needs the shield, gets it from Trance just in time. No chase available. These guys are playing the lane perfectly. Rend before he lands from the ground. No spell shield available. Amazing 2-on-2 by the Dig duo.
Yeah, CoreJJ is just trying to rend it sometimes random times, too. Just like, oh, I'm going to get you.
Yep.
And he's playing around Yen's spell shield so well. They burn both defensive summoners of Fusion that aren't Flash for just the Ignite on themselves. It's not all CoreJJ either. It's Kiwi Kid who's backing him up. It's always the duo lane and the presence that Alistar can have in lane. Alistar's not the most devastating 2v2 laner most of the time. It's hard for him to commit properly without getting punished.
What's the problem? This lane is no punish.
Exactly.
Sivir's low damage. Janna's basically no damage. And whatever you land, he just heals because whatever, he's Alistar. Like, Fusion, once again, have picked themselves a pretty rough 2-on-2. You heard Xpecial say, I didn't know this, Morgana's bad against Kennen. Just like, bad 2-on-2s keep showing up for Fusion, and they keep finding the 2-on-2.
Despite Nintendo's best effort to sweep away the ward. How did they know?
Mind games, man.
Nintendo is farming up a storm, by the way.
Oh, he is. He's once again up 15.
Already completed.
9 minutes in. Not bad at all. But look at the AD carries there. Like, just the amount of damage coming through, the CS difference, pickaxe versus BF sword. Kallista's, like, stupidly strong right now. No movement speed and no attack speed, so the chase isn't amazing, but nice word on the wall. Nintendude can't find the gank, and the ward even sticks.
Man. Not going well for Fusion right here.
Pops beating everything. Another knock-up in on a chunky fresh. Pops the shield, gets away, but... Oh, man.
It's toss time.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Spell shields the Sedge ult, or the, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Spell shields close to ulti.
I mean,
gets wrecked.
What is he going to do? They're both
Flash,
knockups.
I guess.
Yeah, he has to flash immediately. Nian does not respect the Alistar right there. And yes, flash would have been the correct answer.
But still, like...
Door number D, flash.
Kalista ult much shorter cooldown than flash, so you just try again in a minute and a half, and life is fine. Dignitas now going to start dragging for their efforts. 10 minutes in. Huge control over this bottom lane. Should be uncontested.
Yep, and they're going to have the Kalista rend as well. It would be rather bold for Nintendo to try and go in to steal this one against Kalista.
Wow.
Early rend, actually.
Yeah, and early smite. 100 left, and Ziggs took it with an auto attack.
Yeah, what happens there is you stack up the rend, but you don't necessarily know exactly how much damage you're going to do on Kalista, so you want to pick, in my opinion, like a safe number that you can spike at the same time with someone else.
Yeah.
Like 1200 where you spike it with a smite. That time CoreJJ tried to take it all at once, but he wasn't conservative about it. If he's only going to be the one rending, he should pick a number that is just out of smite range, but still in kill range for him. At that point, like 600 or 700.
Yeah.
But he rended at 900, which is kind of asking for failure.
Yeah.
He wasn't punished, though, for that poor rend.
Chunky Fresh, though, lands it slow, and it comes from the top lane. There's the EQ. Ulti is available, but no flash. The flash knock of the full charge Q. The kill will come in, and Nintendude gets the kill on the board for Team Fusion. Bot lane 2-on-2. Looks like they want Nian. Spell shields the pulverize, but, or sorry, the headbutt, but not the pulverize. Dignitas, really nice engage for them. Alistar pulls aggro. Kalista ult him back.
I'm a little surprised that they burned the Kalista ult so quickly because Alistar was tanking with his ultimate that gives him 70% damage reduction, but they do so. I also want to talk about that gank in the top lane. It was nice timing by Nintendo and Chunky Fresh because they noticed that Gamsu was using his EQ so aggressively for Ras over and over again. Eventually that has to be punished, and it was there by Nintendo.
Well, nice stuff, but Nintendo getting answered now. Azingi staying equal in levels to Nintendo, both of them level 8, despite the farm disadvantage you're seeing. The kill and assist help is quite nice, and Azingi is keeping up. Shifter clearing away the mid lane. No big punishment there. He is down 14 CS in the matchup, so good job by Huhi on this Lulu to get a bit of an edge, but it's not really manifesting in much. They've both got Athenes. The mid lane turret's dying. Okay, you're up some CS, but nothing's happening for it.
Definitely a few patterns we've seen in both of these games. These two games are incredibly similar. Nintendo out-farming Azingi. This time, Nintendo was actually able to pick up a kill, but it's not like Azingi actually did stuff this game. He found that one kill in the top lane. Mid lane goes to Huhi in the farm because Shifter is an overly passive laner.
Yeah.
Subtracting CS to make sure he doesn't die. And CoreJJ and Kiwi Kid are crushing Yen and Trade and Trance in the 2v2.
30 CS at 13 minutes. It's ludicrous.
Bloodthirster completed already for CoreJJ. Oh dear.
Hasn't even bought boots. Right, is a champion with pretty low escapes, no boots. I guess you could flash, like, you can hop a little bit, but yeah, CoreJJ feeling absolutely safe in this one. And you saw Fusion try so hard to make ganks happen. You saw deep lane ward. You're seeing Trance getting hit by Kiwi Kid.
He waited a while to hit him back there. He could have pushed him into the river if he was willing to pulverize right off the bat, but the delay allowed Trance a bit of time to get away.
All right, a little bit of damage on Trance, though. Half HP on Janna, still not a bad thing. We're seeing Nintendo make his way back down one more time. There's a pink ward that just got replaced. Someone just replaced their own pink ward that was in that brush over there. That, I feel like you want to keep that one, but I guess they wanted it in Tri-Brush too badly. Trance replacing his pink ward and putting it there. I'm pretty sure that was him.
Yeah. Yep. Trance had a pink ward in the river brush.
Yep.
But he did really want to clear the Tri-Brush ward away because that is where Nintendo is trying to prep a gank up right now. They didn't have vision control in the river when they had the pink ward there, so they were trying to get vision control in the tri-brush, so maybe they can get that gank. One nice thing about having the tri-brush ward there on Rek'Sai is he can then tunnel over the wall where Dignitas is positioned right now and would be able to come in behind them, but he's just not going for that gank.
It's just not happening. You're seeing Sentinels constantly come out from Core JJ. Kiwi Kid just doing a great job of guessing. You know what? He's probably here right now. Let's put this ward down. They've just sniffed out every single gank bot lane. Incredible play by the Dig 2-on-2. Just very heads-up play by them.
He's trying to make the over-the-wall gank happen right now.
And he gets trinketed. I don't think he got seen, though. Core JJ burned it, but didn't see where.
No, they're suspecting something is here. There he goes.
Front, they spot him. There's a knockaback. This is a good chance of knocking out Core JJ. TP comes in as well from Chunky Fresh, and they will knock off the Callista. Kill goes to Nien, thankfully enough. I don't know why Core JJ helped face check the brush, though. It should have been just Kiwi Kid.
Yep, it should have been. But pink ward success. They moved it from the river to get tri-brush control, and then eventually that suspicion led Dignitas doing some very foolish things. Eventually punishing the overconfidence of Core JJ. You're right, he did not need to face check that. He even had a Sentinel that was about to run in there. Poor positioning overall, especially if they weren't willing to back that up with jungle or teleport support. And they pay the price.
It's going to give some time for Nien to farm an extra wave and a half against his opposite member here, so only a 20 minion difference, but he's going to have to recall, I think, to look to buy Xertgreaves or Infinity Edge off that push. As he gets some time to clear away the rest of this map, though, as you see Nintendo down by the Krugs. That was actually a really great ward to this bottom side, but just wasn't the road that Nintendo took. Shifter, who he in a 1v1, is Zingy nearby, though. Gom's on the other side as well. Flash comes out. Just a blue buff steal.
Yeah, when Shifter is willing to fight you,
you know something's wrong.
He's got some backup somewhere. Chunky Fresh, though, comes in. Sano.
Knock up there, Nintendo as well, and wow, a whole ton of damage comes through. Who he has gotten the kill onto Assassin Jarvan. Wants to go to the Armor Pen build, but this is going to be bot lane, outer turret going down. The pressure from Core JJ. Nice pickup here. Bloodthirster boots one and a dagger here, so he's scaling up over time. Clear away the bot lane wave as well, and a whole bunch of gold surges into this AD carry. But Fusion now up 3 kills to 2. They're basically tied in gold here, making a really strong case for themselves in game 2.
Yep. Trying to keep up a little bit better with Team Dignitas, but the problem is they still lost the 2v2 turret, which opens up pressure for the rest of the map. Already Alistair roaming towards the mid lane and making a play.
What a great set of ultis. Oh my god, down goes Huhi. Nice set of knockups there. Dig knocked down 2 turrets to 1.
And this transitions into Team Dignitas starting the Dragon. There's no teleport on the side from the top lane, so this is an easy Dragon number 2.
Wow, so many good plays in a row. The hiccup of the bottom lane notwithstanding, Dignitas really getting themselves far ahead now in this one. Dragon number 2 picked up. Ran before this fight this time around. Zingy choosing to not trust Callista's timing anymore. That's fine. And you've got a very interesting situation. So, a couple ults missing, but Fusion looking to make the play on to Ziggs. Shifter going to satchel charge. He delays it. Gets around behind Chunky Fresh, but Zipper's still on. There's Flash down as well. All the escapes are gone for Shifter. The Flash down to really make sure that will be Ziggs falling off. They make sure they give the kill to Ni and Tanso. And here we go. Mid lane outer going to fall. A Zingy nearby, but no should be enough time.
Yeah, they blow everything to try and kill Shifter, but it was all worth it. They get the kill and the turret. That equalizes things. I'd say it's smart of them to burn that many spells. Even the Flash Janna ultimate might have been a little bit much over the top, but it did allow them to pick who they give the kill to, because there was no longer a time pressure on killing Shifter.
Yeah.
Therefore, they can give Nien a much-needed kill, because that is what the Fusion team composition is revolving around. It's mostly allowing Nien to speed the tanks around, and he needs to be the damage dealer while everyone else creates around him.
Well, absolutely, and to kind of point that out, Core JJ, right, he's up 30 minions. He got a solo gold on a turret kill in the bot lane, and yet the gold difference, 260 gold, because Nien has specifically been given the kill credit on 2 of these kills in the bottom lane. The rest of the team has stopped attacking to make sure that Sivir gets that 300 gold, 600 in this case with the 2 of them coming in. Very big deal for him. Edge plus Zeal is in here. His actual just DPS in a fight right now is higher than Core JJ's. Until that Hurricane comes through, he's going to have much, much higher damage. So some of the elements here are working for Fusion, and they're working around this really disadvantageous 2-on-2.
Laning phase pretty much done for them.
Yeah.
With all these outer turrets down, 2 for 2 on both sides.
Yeah, pretty much. It's weird because with the turrets down, the ability for Kalista to chase goes way up, and like any 1v1 she finds is like a kill for sure. But Nian in these long lanes can just like wave clear and leave right away and never be under pressure. So I think definitely
Fusion's starting to get ahead on the rotations though right here. There's not great vision control by Team Dignitas in the rivers. So therefore, Nintendo's allowed to just kind of roam up and down there. Especially with Kalista off in the top lane. Soon as they see Kalista hit that minion wave, Fusion might go for something aggressive here.
They've got everyone around here, I think. Looks like, yeah, the entire team is in this bottom lane. Outer turret should fall for sure. CoreJJ.
Kalista in the top lane, they're going to go.
She can trade top lane outer. Chunky Fresh, nice ulti will spot Gamsu here. Flashed away from his own ulti, and KiwiKid pops ult, but gets ignited. That should be a kill. Going over once again, maybe. No, he won't go down. 20 health on KiwiKid, the potion. Just enough. CoreJJ will take down top outer, but it'll trade for bottom outer. Actually, TP being used. Chunky Fresh might keep it alive. Fusion force a lot of cooldowns. Turret will fall for sure, but CoreJJ on the wrong side of this fight. But Chunky Fresh maybe in the worst spot. Frozen Heart, Ninja Tabby. He's just not taking damage right now.
Yeah, he's a pretty tanky man. Just a Bloodthirster, no armor pen. That will pose an interesting problem for CoreJJ in the late game if he can't find a way through the Scion, especially with the Bloodthirster and now Hurricane Kalista build. That's not a crit-focused Kalista build. No. Much better at killing bruisers or squishies, not hyper tanks like that. Even if he gets Last Whisper, still without crit, it's going to be hard for him to kill Chunky Fresh.
And Nintendo's, of course, on his way up as well. Now, Nintendo's scaling is going to take some time. He's going Locket second, so no armor yet for this Rek'Sai, but over time, that is going to be very difficult to deal with Rek'Sai. In, 10-15 minutes, which this game looks like it's pacing towards that at least. Much equal gold.
Much better defensive itemization this time from Fusion. Nidalee's not the type of jungle champion last game that could build an Aegis to protect the team from a Ziggs. This time, building an Aegis, that gives the team protection from Ziggs somewhat. The Scion being able to stack armor and actually be someone who can kind of try and face tanky Kalista. Not to mention the shields that they can augment all their defensive tank stats with. May make it a difficult task for Dignitas to actually find the targets they are seeking in these fights. Since no longer can Gamsu jump in, one-shot someone, he'll jump in, draw some shields, then maybe end up getting punished by Sivir damage.
It's absolutely true, so we'll have to see what happens here. Squishy frontliner versus tanky frontliner is going to be something to watch for, absolutely. And how the AD carries can fare against these champions. Chunky Fresh hoping to clear this wave. He's taking a lot of it. Hoo-hee, not allowed to get farm anymore. Give it to your tank, I guess. I don't know. But Fusion looking to play inside the enemy jungle. They clear some wards away. A couple of wards that will help them take over Dragon that's spawning in 1 minute. This is a good time for Dragon to actually come into a team. That 6% attack damage and ability power buff. Gonna be a pretty big deal this far in.
Yeah. It's gonna be a really critical fight. However, Fusion needs to get wave control if they're going to do that. At the moment, Chunky Fresh is down to teleport. Gamsu has the teleport advantage.
Oh, that is a big deal.
Which is a huge mismatch because Fusion wants to control this dragon. It's just very hard for them to get in position to do so. Dignitas also has Ziggs, who, if Dignitas has position, can set up tons of minefields and is one of the best zone control champions in the Dragon Pit.
Absolutely.
It's a tall task here for Fusion.
Of course, in thinking about the resources they could spend, they do have Captain Boots Janna to help their team run around the map really fast. But the problem is you have a magic resist stacking Nintendo. He could normally split push, right? He's got that Rek'Sai ultimate to get across the map and rejoin his team. But you can't split push against Assassin Jarvan with a bunch of magic resist. So Gamsu able to create a lot of pressure. Chunky Fresh is out of mana. Dragon's up in 4 seconds. This man would have to recall if he wanted to join the fight. Whereas Gamsu could easily teleport. So Dignitas in a great position for this drag.
They can use their TP advantage, and they have the Ziggs, who can maybe cut off a zone with his minefields. This
not a chance.
I think a lot of that just comes off the TP advantage that Gamsu had.
Absolutely. So Dragon number 3 goes to Dignitas. Well played by them. Mid lane was pressured by Fusion, but not enough as Shifter Ord there to stop the wave. Nothing gained for sending 3 people down to the Dragon Pit. Even bot lane's pushing in right now. Fusion squandered that 20 seconds of knowing where the enemy team was going to be. They get some farm now onto Sivir. They got a recall for Chunky Fresh. There's a long time until it looks like Fusion can really do much with their team. Still a ways to go till Phantom Dancer. Master just now started for JJ. Will take him some time till he can break through Chunky Fresh. He's 1,400 gold away from that combined now. For this Kalista.
Fusion, they do need a lot of patience for the team comp they're running if Rek'Sai is not able to snowball the lanes, which he was not able to do so. Because think of the way that the Juggernaut composition works, where it's the Lulu top lane, 80 carry / poke mid, Hogma 80 carry, maybe a Nunu jungle, and a Janna support. It's somewhat focused around protecting the carry. Since they are so reliant on being a group to take full advantage of that team comp, they have to be patient and find the right moment in the game where they cannot be punished for grouping and therefore use their advantage. It's similar here with the Sivir, right? Not as potent as far as juggering up the Sivir, Jugger Sivir. It just doesn't work as a word.
But this is actually good timing for her, though, is the thing. 2 items, no big armor items on Dignitas right now. Finished Locket, 1 Ninja Tabby, no big deal. If he can keep Shifter busy in the mid lane, you send 3 men hard into the bot lane. In any fight you take, you just ult and go in for it. Sivir can do so much damage to team fights. You're seeing this right now. Kid is forced to get ulted out. Top lane actually could be pressured. They have to respect Sejuani for now. But they need to use Nian in the very, very near future.
And that was a nice start when they got some damage on a Kiwi Kid. They almost want to... You'd almost want to say they want to go for Baron, but kind of down 3 dragons and 1,000 gold. If that's the only way they can force, they need to work the vision around the Baron, which may end up being a Zingy without backup. Poor timing.
Solo Sejuani tries to jump away for this one. Does not have flash anymore. Nice bullet to get out.
Wow.
And survives it.
What a spectacular ultimate by Zingy to turn sideways, get it around the Scion, and land it on the rest of the Fusion team. Stunts that Baron move completely. Initially, Zingy had to check that because they didn't have the vision control. It was pink ward controlled. No one had a scrying orb, but no one was willing to scout. So he was kind of thrown to the wolves there. The team needed to move as a unit towards that. They did not. Zingy somehow doesn't die, still lands the bola, and he gets Dignitas out of a tight spot.
Wow, well, nice try by Fusion. You can see that they are at least pressing the right buttons and trying to abuse the right advantages. Just that one, unfortunately for them, does not quite work. Kiwi Kid goes back in, gets vision control back for his team. Ward of the pit, pink ward killed. That one's not going to be spotted by most pink wards that you'd put down as Fusion, so Dignitas have enough vision to really prevent it happening again. Nian is the one now taking all the side lane farm. You're going to see him shoot above everyone else in minion kills this game. I'll expect him plus 80 by the end of it.
Shoot above everyone that's not named Shifter or Core JJ, because those guys are farming up a storm.
Those guys are crashing, absolutely.
Yeah, the side lane pressure is what's big here, because Fusion has spent the last few minutes generally grouped up trying to force a 5v5 play, whereas Team Dignitas has been splitting up the team that is trying to run you down with shields and speed.
And sometimes that can be okay for the shields and speed team because you catch those 1 or 2
so
guys,
exactly.
Except when it's a Zingy who gets away. So, yeah, you're seeing those things at play. Like you saw the microcosm of that, like literally 2 minutes ago when they went for a Zingy and it was close. Fusion, once again, can they get control back up? They're slowly eking out a gold disadvantage. It's now 1,700 down. Props to Dignitas for that so far. Luden's Echo looks like Death Cap next for Shifter. Great wave clear on Ziggs.
Oh, man.
There's a ward right here. Dignitas going to start out Baron.
They have Kalista. They can take this down pretty quickly. It depends what number they decide to rend on and how well they peel versus fight this fight.
And it goes in right away for the Kalista, though. Huhi getting knocked around, and that will be Baron Nashor picked up for Dignitas. And out goes Nintendo. Kiwi Kid takes a bit of damage. Who's going to go in on a nice ult from Chunky Fresh to buy maybe a bit of time, and he is, of course, very tanky. Jano buys some time as well. Core JJ knocked around, nearly goes down, but now Huhi forced to kite away from Gamsu. Shifter knocks him down. Core JJ stays alive the whole time, and Tanso has no one to attack. Shifter flashes in. Auto attack not quite grabbing him. Goes for the Space Jam. Shifter. It's so close. He's trying. The minefield. The auto attack finally knocks him down. A 3-for-1 in Dignitas' favor, plus the Baron.
2 games in a row, Team Dignitas goes for a somewhat contestable Baron. This time, though, they have the Kalista. They had better map control. Fusion had to pile into that slowly. Core JJ successfully secured this with the Ren. And honestly, the zone the Kiwi Kid created right there, making sure it was just intended in there, and then 1600 damage rend, a good time to do so as a Kalista, above smite range but below the max damage of the rend after that many hits or so. Of course, the team fight breaks out afterwards. Since Fusion was not grouped up when they were entering the fight, they could not be grouped up throughout the fight. Nian does not have access to the max shields. Dignitas is able to find targets, and Kalista was able to kite around on the backside of that fight. It
was very close, too. Core JJ went so close to going down. He actually managed to tank a knock at the start, get hit by Sever, but still managed to flash away just in time. 4th Dragon picked up. Now Dignitas killed minion waves even faster. They've got a Baron buff as well. They knock down turrets quickly. This one is not long for the world, you've got to imagine, but they have to respect Chunky Fresh still just a little bit. Double lifesteal build for Kalista. She's going to be getting Ruin King 4th, if that ever matters in this one. And here we go.
It'll help take down Sion eventually.
Yeah.
Since it's a critless build, no point in building crit damage this late in the build.
Generally speaking, no. Let's try one more time. Now, inhibitor turret going to be under fire. Kalista still has to stay safe.
They're very aggressively pushing this turret.
Yeah.
Especially with 2 outers still up. Team Dignitas, they're going for, I think, a bit too much of a home run here. We'll see if they end up getting a fight here. They're taking a lot of poke damage. They should be taking the outer turrets here.
And you can see a lot of damage comes through from Fusion. Inhibitor turret's very hard to dive. Top lane wave gigantic right now. Dignitas not going to it. They're all inning. This is the last wave they've got Baron buff for. They really want this inhibitor turret. Will it be enough though? Fusion once again to come out. There's the engage. A 3-man knock. Wow! 2 kills picked up already. Nian's going to be the 3rd. And out goes Trance. Out goes Chunky Fresh. He's trying to run away from the base. That will be the inhibitor turret cracked in 25 seconds.
That's game.
Or 30 to close this out. A small wave left. Recalls coming in. 5 versus 2. There's turret number 1. There's turret number 2. You're right, chat. That's going to be GG. Dignitas looking to start this series out 2-0. And one more game will put them back into the North American LCS.
Pretty much within the duration of the Baron buff, Team Dignitas takes what was looking like a close game into a 31-minute victory. And honestly, I was saying they should go for the side waves, but that's if they're playing the patient way. They had 4 dragons,